All right, your second poetry style of the week is a much more meaningful poem style. I'm really excited. I hope you guys share these ones and know that mine that I wrote this weekend is definitely different than something that I would have written even 6 months ago. So a poem like this is really nice because it kind of tells you how you're feeling in the very moment. So that was kind of interesting for me. It was pretty eye-opening as I was writing it, what was really on my mind. But we are really focusing on the elements, the elements of poetry, so I do want to share with you that as well. Okay, let me make sure my pen's on. So one thing that I wanted to highlight, we've already talked again about ideas and content, but this one was really good because it really gets you to the meat of the matter that well-written poems have great ideas and content, just like a good book, and they really make your reader think. The ideas are important to help express the main ideas to the reader and come from the heart. So this is the reason that I wanted you to sort of focus on ideas and content today. These should really come from your heart and how you're truly feeling. So our poetry style is an I am poem. I'm going to read to you from this left side of the page and then also read to you off to the right their example. So it says an I am poem is designed for your audience to get to know you. What are you excited about? What makes you sad? What do you dream about? What do you try to do? What do you wonder about? You will answer these questions and more as you write your poem. The poem follows a very strict format and has 3 stanzas. So one thing that's nice if you printed out this piece of paper is it gives you all the starting sentences, which is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and underline those. So while you guys listen to me read this example, that's in your packet if you printed it out. Again, no big deal if you didn't. But you're going to fill in your own answers for these particular sentence starters. So this is an example of an I am poem. And again, I don't know who this one actually is from. It says, I am a 4th grader in Mrs. Renz's class. I wonder what I'm going to be when I grow up. I hear cars on the street zooming by. I see the waves at the beach hitting the rocks. I am a student in Mrs. Renz's class. I pretend I'm at the lake. I feel happy when I'm with my family. I worry about my house. I cry when I'm sad. I am a student in Mrs. Renz's class. I understand how people feel. I say hi to my friends. I dream about my life. I try to do my best. I hope people will get what they want. I am a student in Mrs. Renz's class. So that's kind of neat. I like how I'm a 4th grader in Mrs. Renz's class. I am a student. I am a student. I am a student. So they all are very similar ending in that way. So this is what you're going to see in your packet as kind of an idea or a reminder for you of what you're going to be filling out. And I don't want to show you every single one, but I'm just going to walk you through stanza 1 and kind of the advice that they give you, and that will help when you go to write your own. So what they're doing is they're telling you what the sentence starter will be, and then they're telling you how to fill that spot in. So it says, I am, and then it wants you to tell about yourself, listing at least 2 things people should maybe already know about you. So things that most everybody knows. Then it says, I wonder, and they want you to tell something you're curious about. It can be absolutely anything that you might be curious about. Then it says, I hear, think of a sound and pretend it can be heard. I see, think of something you can see or would like to see. I want, what is it you really want? Tell it here and tell why it is important to you. And I am, you're going to sort of repeat this first line of your poem. And that's what you do at the end of every single one is you repeat the first line of your poem, okay? So again, there's ones over here about like things that you feel. It doesn't have to actually be a tactical thing that you're feeling, or yeah, and it instead could be an emotional thing. So use this little guide to help you out. It'll make this poem a lot more meaningful. I also want to remind you that poems are not meant to be insanely long. So when you fill these out, you want to be a little bit more concise. So even though here, like on this one, for example, it says, what is it you really want? Tell it here and tell why it is important to you. That doesn't mean to write a paragraph about what you want and why it's important to you. Just try to be, choose your words really, really carefully. Okay, so let me read to you my example. It says, I titled it Mrs. Glassy. It says, I am a 4th, 5th grade teacher at Cathcart Elementary. I wonder about students I have taught in the past and what they are doing today. I hear Elliot barking at the mail truck every day around 5 p.m. I see all my students coming to school on Wednesday for a final goodbye. I want to be able to hug all the people I love again. I am a 4th, 5th grade teacher at Cathcart Elementary. I pretend I can understand what Elliot is saying when he moves his head to the side. I feel very sad that I didn't get to finish out the year in the classroom with my amazing students. I touch the grave of my sister when I visit and tell her I love and miss her. I worry about what next year will look like and hope we can be together in the classroom again. I cry when I think about the Black Lives Matter movement and feel helpless to the cause. I am a 4th, 5th grade teacher at Cathcart Elementary. I understand that I love my job and enjoy it every day. I say that we should always treat others the way they would like to be treated. I dream of a harmonious, respectful world that can see eye to eye. I try to be fair and respectful to my students and to have as much fun as possible. I hope I get to see everyone on Wednesday for our final goodbye. I am a 4th, 5th grade teacher at Cathcart Elementary. So this is kind of like what I was mentioning at the very beginning of this video. If I had written this poem maybe 4 or 5 months ago, it probably would have been a lot different. Obviously, I wouldn't be talking about seeing you guys in the classroom again. We'd already probably be out of school by this point. So there's a lot that would have been very different about my poem. So these are fun ones to do depending on what's going on in your world or in your life. This is the page that you will find in that packet if you printed it out. It's kind of hard to do on this exact page, so you might want to write this one on scratch paper nearby as well. But again, you can share it on Flipgrid. You can share it in a Zoom call if you would like, and you can always share it with your family if you would prefer. Okay? Have fun!